The next two choices that we're going to add into our form are the checkbox and the radio buttons. And at first glance, they might appear to do the same thing, but there are some subtle differences, and it's going to prevent you from getting the information that you really need if you're not sure which one you're using. So let's start out with a simple checkbox, and then we'll move into the checkbox group, and then we'll move into the buttons. So I might want to pose this: send me the pet newsletter. I'm just deciding that this form is going to be all about pets. Send me the pet newsletter. And in checking a checkbox, okay, so I've chosen checkbox, and again, as before, I'm just going to bypass this window by clicking OK. Okay. So when I'm looking at this form as a viewer, if I check this, the assumption is I'm going to get the pet newsletter. But how do I know that as the person receiving the form? So I'm going to click on the checkbox, and the checked value, so if this is checked, will be yes. But yes to what? So I have to be pretty clear about what this label is going to be. So I'll write send newsletter. So if they fill out the box, if they check the box, it will be sent back to me as send newsletter, yes. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Often though, you will see that there are more than one checkbox, more than one choice of things, and that will bring us to the checkbox group. So I want to ask, what pets do you own? Okay. And I'm going to move into the checkbox group. And this name here is the label. So if and when the person filling out the form checks some of these boxes, I know that they are in response to pets owned. So as I move down here to the checkboxes, I have two sort of starting out, and the label is the words that will appear on the form. So obviously, checkbox, not what I want. I want it to say dog, and I'll have one that says cat, and I need more. How about reptiles? Let's see, I'll add another one, and we'll call this one hamster. Okay, but you get the idea. You can go on and on. So not only are you setting this list up, if you decided after the fact I should have alphabetical order or something else, you can move the items up and down on the list to sort of change their position. You can also decide at this point, do you want those to be separated by line breaks, or do you want to throw those into a table? And I'm not a big fan of tables, so I'm going to keep line breaks. Okay, so there's my list, and it's all populated with the choices. Now, if I were to click on these individual check boxes, you can see that it remembered what I filled out, pets owned, and the checkbox value is going to be that it's the checkbox. Now, the other thing is, you've felt like maybe you were tricked into this. Perhaps when you fill out a form, let me go back to this one, send me the newsletter, you can decide, do you want the initial state of that checkbox to be unchecked, or do you want to kind of pre-fill that out with a check? So that's something you as a designer can decide. And for your user, of course, it's a toggle on or toggle off. Okay, so that's the checkbox. The other choice that seems pretty similar to that at first would be the radio button and the radio group. But this is when you want only one choice. So for example, what is your favorite pet? So I only want one answer. So I'm going to jump right down to the radio group, and again, in the name, make sure that I'm typing something, favorite pet, that reflects the question that I'm answering. And again, I will label these appropriately: dog, cat, tortoise. Okay. So I'm going to save this and just compare the difference in the live view. So first of all, here's again the option that all of these are kind of toggle on, toggle off. What pets do you own? In the checkbox, I own all of these things. Well, actually, I don't own a hamster, but I can turn any of these on, any of them off. But with the radio button, it's only one. So if I choose dog and then I try to use cat, it turns dog off. So you have to be careful when you're designing a form. What information do you want? Do you want to have a lot of choices happen? Then use the checkbox. If you only want one response, then you're using the radio button.